to the My City, My Game pod show featuring Raider J77, your place for all things Raiders and all things Trailblazers. Brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now let's go.
Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that old line. Car insurance cost an arm and a leg.
All right, here we go. What is going on, everybody? Sorry about that. We are officially live for the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Indianapolis Colts Week 14 matchup. In a very interesting matchup, playoff implications goes in. But I am your host, Darian, of the Spotlight Raiders Talk, and I have my two colleagues here with me that are a part of the Spotlight Sports Network. And two, I think my left or my right, if I'm not mistaken. But My City, My Game, Raider J77. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? What's going on, man? What's good, bro? It's a huge week, man. A lot of playoff implications through all the NFL this week. And the Raiders are no stranger to that. That seems like it kind of happens. Well, it actually has happened a lot less than we'd like, playing meaningful football in the middle of December. So I'm excited that we're playing meaningful football in the middle of December, for one. And for two, I would just like to get to the point where I don't have to stress every time this year playing meaningful football. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something real quick, man, and it's gonna mess up the video. So just bear with me. Sorry, I got to do this real quick. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Cool.
Okay, cool.
Just that way, if anybody calls in, we're good to go. I'm gonna forget if I don't do it now. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to play the Colts. It's gonna be interesting playing this team. Here we are playing Phillip Rivers again, old man Rivers. But I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I really can't wait to do this game, and I can't wait to live stream this game as well. But at the bottom, you know who it is, y'all. It's Mr. Hammerhouse in the building. What is up, man? How you feeling, though? I know that you was like not feeling well, but how you feeling, man?
I'm managing right now. Managing to the best of my ability. I don't know if it's because I'm overworking myself. I don't know if it's because I got this big monster among pups sleeping against me half of the time, but I'm doing all right. Just wanted to get on with you guys and do this today and then be ready to go for Sunday's matchup.
Well, it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be an awesome game. We're going to definitely go over everything that's been going on in this past week with everything. So make sure y'all share this live out. Share it out to your friends. Share it out to the Raider Nation. Share it out to Twitter. Share it out to as many people as you can. But let's get straight to the nitty-gritty. And before we do that, shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Icy Nate. Shout out to Zach EF. And just to let y'all know, we will be having EJ Bryant from the Spotlight Sports Network, which is our Colts analyst, on the show, and we be having Derek Larger from the Bring the Juice podcast. I was on his show yesterday, repping the Spotlight Raiders Talk. I was on his show to do the preview. Now he's going to be on our show today to be on the preview. Butchers Block Your Patriots Talk. I understand your feelings about y'all losing last night, but hey, it's all love over here, Bobby. It's all love over here. So let's get straight into it with the injury report. Because, I usually do. Hey, hi, Crystal. How you doing? Hi, URX7 Bad. David, what's going on? They coming in all extra late.
What up, Zach?
What's up? So let's get straight into the actual injury report of this, because there's been a lot going on with our injury report this past week. Now, earlier in the week, it did state that we did have what I heard cookies. Okay, that sounded fine.
My bad.
It's going to be one for the book. Yeah, EJ, it's going to be one for the book. But all I heard was cookies. I don't know where that came from. But all I heard was cookies. Now listen, that sounds really good right now. Cookies does sound really good right now. But
It's Christmas.
yeah, definitely. So hopefully, happy holidays to everybody. It's going to be fun to look at. It's going to be fun to look at. But we heard about Josh Jacobs. We heard about Jonathan Abram. Possibly not expected to play. This was earlier in the week when I did the video. And then like 2 or 3 hours later, they are expected to play. So for right now, for what I see as far as game statuses, Damon Arnett is out. Mm-hmm. Jeff Heath is out.
Yep.
Now, as far as Josh Jacobs, let me see. Yeah, that's Josh Jacobs and Isaiah Johnson are questionable. According to the game status, but everybody else, as far as like Jonathan Abram, he was limited. He's questionable too. Nelson Aguilar had full practice all week with an ankle injury. Damon Arnett, we already know he's out. Devontae Booker with a back injury, but he's a full go. Denzel Good and Jonathan Hankins, non-related injuries, did not participate. I don't think they participated Thursday and Friday either. Concussion, Jeff Heath, he's out. Rodney Hudson, he was limited today and yesterday, but his game status, he will play. Gabe Jackson will play. Maurice Hurst will play. Zay Jones will play. Neville Lawson will play. Sam Young and Trent Sang, I guess that's what his name is going to be playing today. And the Colts do have 3 questionables that's going to be out and that might be playing or not might be playing. So Anthony Catazaro, he's questionable. And then you have Tyquan Lewis, he's questionable. And then you have Roberto Sanchez, he is out for this week, which he is their punter, surprisingly, with an illness. He's out. And you have Bobby Oriki, he is questionable as well. So everybody else a lot of people did not participate for the Colts either. So that's only the 4 information for the injury status there. But how do y'all feel about that, knowing that Arnett is not playing and Heath is out? What's going to happen at the safety position now? Is it time to put LaMarcus Joyner at safety now? Is it that time? I need to know this.
It was that time like 7 months ago. Like, I mean, man, it's been well over time to do that, man. And now they might be forced to do it because they're really, I mean, John Gruden did say that they're real thin at that position. They're going to have contingency plans. So hopefully that's one of the contingency plans, because I would love to see it. I really would. I don't know why he hasn't been played at that position. Every time he's played there, he's done well. So because he's done it a few times here and there on a snap here and there, but yeah, man, it should have been done already.
Hammer, how you feel about that?
You know what? It's funny you're talking about Gruden and his contingency plan, and he's saying he is hating this team's contingency plans right now with all these guys that have gone down. It's going to be rough. I wouldn't mind seeing LaMarcus Joyner at safety right now. There was another player that he had mentioned during this afternoon's press conference that may be seeing some time at safety as well. And I don't know if you did mention, but David Irving is another one that is out for Sunday's game. So we just have to wait and see how this plays out. It sucks. And to touch on Arnett, we had this conversation even during the game last week. He's got to stop using his head so damn much. He needs to learn how to form tackle or something now. This helmet-to-helmet stuff, it's got to stop. You're not going to have a long career if you keep tackling like that.
Right. And then from what I've seen on here, what's up, Derek? Derek, you going to come in the queue at 7:30 with EJ, so y'all could definitely come on at 7:30. So shout out to Derek Larger. He's going to be in at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. But from what I saw in the injury report, David Irving was not on that injury report.
No, John Gruden announced it during the press conference this afternoon. They asked about Irving, and he said that the 3 players as of right now that were out was Heath, Arnett, and Irving. The rest of the guys remain questionable going into tomorrow's practices. What time is it now? 7 o'clock out here? Yeah. That press conference is probably like around between 2 and 3 o'clock this afternoon.
because this injury report came out at 4:13 in the afternoon, and it didn't have David Urban on it. So
I gotta see when it was, but I was watching the YouTube of the Raiders press conference.
The pressure, yeah. I usually watch that, but I can't watch it with John Gruden because John Gruden is so discreet about shit, and it just gets on my nerves.
Well, he also did say Marcus Mariota will be suiting up as a second string quarterback on Sunday. So
he did last week, and it made no difference.
Yeah.
It didn't make no difference either because, like, at the end of the day, Derek Carr is the quarterback, man. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody want to focus on Marcus Mariota and stuff like that. Like, listen. Derek Carr is doing the job as best as he can right now. So
he's not doing anything wrong. That's the thing. He's definitely in the conversation for top 10 quarterbacks this season. And if somebody thinks otherwise, prove me wrong.
He's doing everything wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God, here we go.
Here come the troll.
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that? So that's my argument.
So how do y'all feel that we match up offensively against this defense? Because mind you, this defense is really good. And I know I'm gonna ask this question again when EJ and Derek come in here. But I want to hear from y'all perspectives on how do y'all feel that our offense match up against this defense, knowing that DeForest Buckner is over there. Darius Leonard is one of the top linebackers in football. They got a nice little secondary. So how do y'all feel that we match up offensively?
I'll let you go first, Hammer.
So scared right now. No, I'm joking. Yeah, they're the number one ranked defense in the league right now. And the guys you just mentioned, Leonard and Buckner, are the guys that are headlining that defense right now. We have to play to our strengths and play our game, and maybe throw in some gadget plays here and there. Try to step outside of our norm on a little bit. Maybe this is another team, again, top-ranked defense. We saw teams like the Chiefs and Saints earlier in the season where Carr was able to air it out against defenses like that, and he was successful. Maybe that's something they need to consider doing a little bit more of this coming week.
So I was nervous. I'm not so much nervous anymore now that I know that it looks like Trent Brown, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be back because he's been practicing. They haven't officially said he's out or anything like that, and he has been practicing, so I can just assume that he's going to be playing. Hopefully they don't change that right before the start of the game. And it sounds like they've been really, really careful with bringing him back, so I'm assuming if they are bringing him back that he's going to be 100% because they were not playing around with that. I mean, obviously he's missed some time from those COVID side effects and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm not so much concerned anymore because I know that, having two starting tackles is going to help tremendously. But a lot of it's going to depend on which Derek Carr shows up because we all know that Derek Carr can be a bipolar. That's not a knock on him. That's just I don't know. That's just how he is. I
just feel like the whole team is bipolar. One week we get a great offense, we get a terrible defense, and then the next week we get a good defense with a terrible offense. This whole team is bipolar from offense, defense, and special teams. The ball boys, the coaches, the water boys.
We just can't be on the same page on a week-to-week basis. Yeah, that's the main problem there.
Exactly. If the Derek Carr that's willing to use his legs, extend plays, do what he did in the last play of that Jets game, make the hop pass and, do all that kind of stuff, then I'm sure he's going to be fine. If the Derek Carr that shows up that played against the Falcons, who's just going to tuck the ball and drop it on the ground and take sacks and all this other stuff, we're in for a long day, man. So a lot of it depends on what Derek Carr shows up. And then what offensive line shows up. Mm-hmm. But as far as weapons, as far as the potency of this offense, absolutely positively, I believe that this offense can run with the best defenses in the league. I feel like they've shown it with defenses like New Orleans and some other defenses. So, they just got to clean it up, man. And everybody's got to show up. Everybody's got to be on time and, ready for class to start, man, or it's going to be a bad day and Derek Carr might get hurt.
So this, yeah, but we got to think about last time we had this redemption. We had this talk about that. I talked about it on Bring the Juice podcast, like how are we feeling resentment of that injury back in 2016 that was in Indianapolis. Trent Cole was the one to break, Derek Carr's leg. But I feel like this. If John Gruden could bring it some type of rinky-dink offense to a point like where he could switch it up, and tired of being predictable, because if we actually could be innovative in this game, we can win this game. We got to bring something to this Colts defense that they never seen before to beat them, because they're going to be looking at the last two games with this Atlanta and in the Jets, and they're going to look at how predictable we were in those two games. So if I'm John Gruden and if I am Greg Olsen, get those two guys to get innovative on offense, get Henry Ruggs moving around, do what we have to do to wear down his defense. Mm-hmm. So that's just how I feel on it. But how do y'all feel about this? Because I made a video about it. Daryl Worley signing back with the Raiders, knowing that we won't have Damon Arnett. Jonathan Abram is questionable. So if he's not able to go, hopefully they can put LaMarcus Joyner back there. But how do y'all feel about the signing of Daryl Worley coming back? How y'all feel about that?
It's just like filler, man. It's wood putty. We're just filling in cracks at this point, man. I'm not really. It doesn't move the needle for me. It doesn't excite me. He's played pretty average. I think really he's had probably one season in his whole career where he, played above average. And so, I'm not really, like I said, we're just trying to fill in spots. We're trying to fill in gaps with whoever we can, to try to make it and get our guys healthy again.
Hammer, how do you feel?
The same exact way. Because
I feel like
honestly,
we should have brought his behind back. I know it was just bringing in filler, but I couldn't stand him last year. I'm just going to be honest.
I didn't know what? And this has been a thing with them, and I don't want to take any shots at Mayock, but like even free agency, you guys were trying to fill the needs of what this team needed. You tried to do that with the linebacking core. Where's Littleton at right now? And what the hell did he do when he played the first couple of games? Like some of the guys that they brought in, granted, Worley's been here before with us. Like I'm not impressed right now. I'm really not.
Let's be honest though. What successful linebacker we had under Paul Guntner?
Facts. You're absolutely right. And we've talked about this countless times as well. Whatever BS scheme that he has that he uses to implement this offense is terrible. Unless you're playing to each and every single one of these guys' strengths, you're not going to get the best out of any single one of them right now. And that's not an insult. It's just a fact of life.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I see that we do have him already here. So we're going to bring him up. I know he's highly anticipating us right now. So just give me a second here while I change the backgrounds, because I got to go to the Raider Nation one, because I don't have a 4-box for some reason. I thought I did, and I didn't. So coming up with us today, I know it's 3 Raiders, and I know we still have EJ coming on soon, but we still have my guy that I met through Fan to Fan Network, which he's no longer a part of, but we still connected. We still came together and still decided to work with each other, either or. So from Bring the Juice podcast, we have Derek Larger in the building. What is going on, brother?
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? How you doing tonight?
Thank you for coming on to the show. We really do appreciate it, man.
I feel completely outnumbered right now, but I am ready to go.
I was trying to get one of them to not come up here. I said, I'm not too sure. Too sure. So I'm still waiting on EJ to come on here. I know he's at work, but you have some backup coming real soon. You have some backup.
Right, I got it.
When it comes to Raider Nation, you'll always be outnumbered, though. Just throwing it out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, we Colts. I mean, with the way the pandemic has been this year, a lot of teams are having the limited seating, right? And the Colts have had around 12,000 seats that people are allowed to come in. That's about 20% of our stadium, and we still can't sell out that thing, man. I mean, you guys, if they had 12,000 seats in Las Vegas, I mean, I know that would be selling out real quick.
Absolutely.
So thank you for coming on to the show again, man. So I know that we were on your show yesterday, so you might see some repetitive questions because I know it's just me and you yesterday.
Yeah.
But after, we did our preview show, how do you feel now knowing that it's a couple days away from this big matchup? How are you feeling about this matchup right now?
Well, I mean, my emotion about this matchup is still the same. I'm always nervous when we're facing the Raiders because, the Raiders are one of those teams that, the Colts just it's 50-50 either way. It's like the Colts can have a good game or the Raiders have a really good game. Either way, it's going to be a competitive game through and through. After seeing the injury report today, I feel a little bit better seeing a couple more guys show up and practicing more. We may have our left tackle for this matchup, which would be amazing if he does play. We'll find that out tomorrow. But our best coverage linebacker, Bobby Okariki's coming back, most likely. Kahari Willis off the injury report now. He's our strong safety. He's going to be back. Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little better with how the injury report's looking, so I'm looking forward to it.
So I know that I was on the show yesterday. So John and Hammer, if you want to ask away, you can ask away about the matchups because I know me and him went kind of deep into the matchups yesterday. It was a great show. So if y'all have anything particular y'all want to ask him, y'all could definitely ask him here.
So my question is this. So you guys right now, the Colts have 28 sacks on the season. That is that's an impressive number. Not gonna lie. It's definitely something scary to think about when you're an opposing offense. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the Raiders have one of the better offensive lines in the league, as well as one of the fastest releases from Derek Carr. With that being said, how do you feel about going up against an offensive line like this? And do you think that it's going to be business as usual, or is there, how are they going to get to the quarterback with, Trent Brown's coming back, one of the biggest men in the league, Pro Bowl tackle. So what do you think? How do you feel about that matchup?
Well, this Raiders offense and the way that Carr and his offensive line get rid of the ball quickly, it's a lot like Indianapolis. Phillip Rivers is another one of those guys that this year, has been getting the ball out very quickly. That helps the offensive line and everything else that goes on. You mentioned the 28 sacks. It's a good number, but honestly, we kind of anticipated it would be higher because when you look at the pressure rating of Indianapolis actually pressures the quarterback the second most in the NFL. I think they said on 28% of the passing snaps, there is at least some kind of pressure right at the quarterback. So a lot of these throws that these quarterbacks are making, are contested throws. They're going to have to throw off the back foot, or they got to scramble. They got to make a throw that they really don't want to. Mm-hmm. And the Colts are all doing this while only blitzing less than 19% of the time. They blitz less than any team in the NFL, but yet somehow get pressure on the quarterback with that front four. DeForest Buckner, the way he is, has the most pressures, I think, outside of Aaron Donald, has the most pressures by a defensive tackle in the NFL this year. You got guys like Justin Houston and Danico Autry, 5 and 6 sacks on the year between those two guys, and other guys that come in, and we have a lot of great depth on the D line, which helps us. We're able to keep fresh bodies in a lot, especially when it comes to the run game. But like you said, this offensive line for the Raiders for sure is it's a different animal. It's different from a lot of offensive lines that we've seen this year. Ironically, from some of the best teams we've seen, their offensive lines really haven't been that great. Green Bay's offensive line's not been terrific this year. They've been good, but they've not been terrific. And it's the same thing with the Titans, been good, but not terrific. They were missing Taylor Lewan and a couple other guys, so that doesn't help. But yeah, Colts fans, including myself, have always said we wish Matt Eberflus, our defensive coordinator, would blitz a little more. And for certain times when we're not getting pressure. But Eberflus doesn't like to go away from that game plan too often because, if you start bringing blitzes, then it takes away from the zone coverage that the Colts try to run. It's the Tampa 2. You're trying to keep everybody back and play everything that's in front of you. And if you're blitzing, you have to alter things. And that can be dangerous if your quarterback is good at dissecting a zone. And I think that Derek Carr is definitely one of those that can take advantage of that. I think the Colts will have to dial up a few different blitzes. Kenny Moore, our nickel corner, does that a lot. But this front four, I do have confidence, can still get some pressure on your offensive line. But yeah, it's gonna be a good matchup for sure.
I think it's gonna be an awesome matchup. I really think that it's gonna be good. It's really gonna come down to the trenches in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, Hammer, you got a question?
I know we pretty much Phillip Rivers is now a Colt. We've pretty much have owned his ass for a very, 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 very long time.
Oh, jeez.
I said this last night.
Doesn't he have 18 wins against you guys in his career? Doesn't he have like 18 wins versus 10 losses? Or am I hearing that as a wrong record there?
It might be.
I mean, it is, but we still kind of. I mean, it is.
Darian, the only reason I say that is because somebody in our comments after our preview yesterday went at me and went at you saying Phillip Rivers has a winning record against the Raiders while he was with the Chargers, and this guy has the audacity to say that you guys dominate him. I got what you were trying to say. Like recently, that's been the case because the Raiders have been beating up on the Chargers a lot recently. But yeah, I think people were kind of triggered about that. I figured they
can be triggered all they want because all those 18 wins he earned.
Yeah.
Walk in the park, he earned all those wins, and you got to go off recent history. I mean, last time he played us, he had threw 4 interceptions on a Thursday night football game.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm just saying.
I laughed. Yes, I laughed.
So, sometimes you just got to go off recent history, when we have it. So go ahead, Hammer. My bad.
What do you think? What do you think your defense is going to do to shut down Darren Waller, especially after a successful game that he had last week?
Well, a lot of it's going to have to do with if Okereke actually plays because we have 3 linebackers, right? Anthony Walker, Darius Leonard, who everyone knows at this point, and Bobby Okereke. That's an up-and-coming name that not a lot of people really know about, but when you look at some of the games he's had this year when Darius Leonard wasn't there, Bobby Okereke has taken the helm of this linebacker core. This defense is completely different when Bobby Okereke's on the field because you can match him up with a lot of different guys. He's fast, he's long, he's got great coverage ability. I think that's going to be mainly his responsibility is, Darren Waller most of the game. But, and guys in our secondary are very physical and aggressive guys. I really hope that my biggest issue and my biggest concern is the Colts start to get a little aggressive and then they get beat by Waller or somebody over the top. That's my concern.
Ruggs, maybe?
Yeah, Ruggs. Yeah, actually, yes, because, we have struggled on guys who can go vertical all year long. It's been an issue because our number 1 corner, Xavier Rhodes, been one of the best corners in football this year, but he's also just not very fast. I'm just going to be real. He's physical at the line, which is great. It slows receivers down right away. I'm hoping that's what the Colts will do on Ruggs is get physical with him at the line and force him to try and get physical back. Maybe that might help. But Rocky Sin, our second corner, gets burnt every time. We had to bench him the other week because he was getting destroyed by the Titans receivers, and we put in TJ Carey, who might be the best vertical corner that we have. So
that name sounds familiar. Wasn't he a Raider before?
Yes, he was a Raider and then went to the Browns and then became a Colt just this offseason. So
he just revitalized his career after going to hell.
Hey, I mean, Danico Autry thanks you for that too. I mean,
right.
we got him.
We had him too, and now we got his brother on the practice squad.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
But without further ado, my brother from the Spotlight Sports Network that covered the Colts on the Spotlight Sports Network, my guy, EJ Bryant, is here in the building. So you got your Colts partner in the building against us three Raider Nation, man. What's going on, EJ? What's up, brother?
What's up, everyone? How are you doing?
We good, man. We good. So how you feeling about this matchup? You know, me and you like to go back and forth. So how you feeling about this matchup, man?
I mean, I think this is going to be a great matchup. I mean, I feel like for the rest of the schedule for the Colts, it's must-win games. And against this deadly offense, I think that, hey, our defense has a real big test coming up. I mean, like you said, everyone is basically going to be healthy. So, I mean, looks like we might get Bobby Okereke back and stuff like that. And I'm not sure we'll get Gastonzo on the line. But, I mean, like we were talking about defense, I mean, it's going to be key that our defense plays lights out this game to win this game.
Yep.
So, y'all got any questions for EJ? Because, you know, he's coming in. But my question for you, EJ, is this. How you feel about Old Man Rivers going up against us? How you feel about Old Man Rivers? Man, because you know you've been bipolar.
EJ, put some respect on his name, man. You know how it is.
EJ has been bipolar with Phillip Rivers all year long. It's been sometimes it will pull the crap out of his hair out, and then the next time he'd be like, "Oh, Phillip Rivers the best in the league. He's worth $25 million." And so, EJ, how you feeling about Rivers against our defense this week?
Well, I haven't gone to the extent of he was worth the $25 million, but I mean, as of lately, Phillip Rivers has been playing pretty good. I mean, you want to keep Phillip Rivers just like, you know, in his zone. Like we can't see Phillip turn over Rivers where he's just making boneheaded plays, and he knows the second after he throws it, it's a boneheaded play. So, I mean, like I said, I mean, we got Jonathan Taylor back. He had a pretty good game last game. So let's establish the run and just get him in a nice group, get him some short throws. I mean, that's what we need to do. Establish the run first, and then let Phil Burrs make some throws. Because, I mean, we've seen it pretty much every game. Usually it's a third or fourth quarter. It comes. He will make a terrible throw that either, you know, the other team will just pick it, and they will punish you for it with a pick. Or
I haven't seen a ton of that recently. I know that he had that issue with that in the first couple weeks. I know, but I mean, over these I'm going to just say this, guys, as much as people want to say this Colts offense is just not something to be concerned about. I've seen some of it in your chat. I've been looking. I've seen it. Believe me, since the halfway mark in the season, the Colts are actually the 9th overall offense in the NFL. Say what you want about Old Man Rivers. Say what you want about this receiving core and how there's no Marlon Mack there anymore and how the offensive line hasn't looked up to standard. They are still finding ways to pick teams apart in a lot of these games. We did it against Green Bay in the second half. We've done it against a lot of other teams. You know, it's just been like EJ said, Phillip has had a couple throws early in the year where he was, you know, being kind of risque, but he's gotten much better at that recently. He's only thrown, I believe, 3 interceptions over the last 5 games. So that's much better than, you know, over the last couple weeks that we saw.
It looks like T.Y. Hilton is slowly coming back to
that was always pops up against Houston.
Yeah, it's the Texans. It's NRG Stadium. He owns a share in that stadium.
So it was just one.
That's why he's playing like that. He owns the share.
Yeah. He owns a share. You know,
it was just one of those games for him. Every blind squirrel finds a nut, I guess.
I mean, if it showed you anything, it showed you that he can do it. He does know how to do it. He can still do it. It's just a matter of whether or not the offense actually targets him. Because that's another thing about this offense that's different than what a lot of defenses see is that this offense spreads the ball around so much that it's oftentimes a wonder of who is actually going to be the big guy today. Is it going to be Jonathan Taylor or Nyheim Hines out of the backfield? Is it going to be Michael Pittman? Is it going to be T.Y.? Is it going to be one of the tight ends? We don't know because one game somebody will have 7 receptions, and then the next game that person will have 2. It's just like you don't know how to game plan against it.
Is it just like the Raiders as well? Like, if you want to be, it's just like the Raiders. Like last week we had Darren Waller. What he had, like 10 receptions last week.
200 receiving yards. Like he killed
what
it.
He had before that. Like think about what he had before that.
You're
so
right.
you have to think about that as well. Like our offense is so optimistic, you just don't know which way we're going to go. Like just in case, like one day, like that one game when Henry Ruggs had over 100 receiving yards on what 2 or 3 catches, and then you have not seen that since. And then you see Nelson Aguilar step up, and then you see Hunter Renfrow step up. So it's kind of identical in some ways, but I know the running back situation is a little bit different, knowing that y'all have Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines, knowing that Josh Jacobs is questionable, but we still have Devontae Booker, Jalen Richard, and Theo Riddick. So it's going to be a very interesting match, especially with our offense versus your defense. So how do the Colts try to, knowing that how optimistic our offense can be, knowing especially when Derek Carr is on point, what is the number one thing y'all have to do to stop our offense on the defensive side for the Colts?
I'll let you go ahead, man. Go ahead. You started off here.
Gotcha. So I think that the number one thing is that our pass rush has to get home. I mean, I think we got one of the best D lines in the whole league, and then as long as our secondary can at least do their assignments and not get burned, because like you said, they taken out Rock Ya-Sin, because look, all I've seen of Rock Ya-Sin in his first year is that he gets burnt and then he holds on to the jersey. I've seen it less this season, but it's done. But as long as this D-line can, do their job, get home, and then as long as our secondary can just stay in place, I mean, I think that, it will be good for them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, the pass rush is going to be the key thing here. And, with the pressures, it obviously helps to get pressure on the quarterback. But like you said, if we're not getting, consistent hits on Derek Carr, then that pressure is a lot of time not going to matter too much. And, if Josh Jacobs does end up playing, it's going to be very pivotal that we stop the run game. And, we've done that quite a few times on some really good running backs. Dalvin Cook, we held to 64 yards. Aaron Jones only got 41 yards on us. So, some big running backs this year that haven't really done a whole lot on Indianapolis. So I hope Josh Jacobs isn't the exception.
Mm-hmm. Jay, go ahead. I know you like analytics. You like the numbers, man. So I know you like to bring it up. So
hey, here we go.
Come on, here we go. I call Raider Jay Mr. Analytical.
I'm glad you called him for it because I'm tired of doing analytics now.
Yo, he's Mr. Analytical. When we do our preview shows, he's the analytics guy.
Nah, you know what? I just read stat sheets, man. That's all I do is read stat sheets.
He's like, you know what? I'm done. F your numbers.
So yeah. So that's my question too. So Derek Carr, okay, and I've been very critical of Derek Carr. I've been critical with him on, my channel, on Darian's channel, on all over the place, right? Anybody will tell you. But Derek Carr right now has an overall passer rating of 104.1. He's got 22 touchdowns on the season, in a better completion percentage than Old Man Rivers. So my question is this: How do you feel matching up when we're talking quarterback to quarterback, defense to offense? How do you feel about matching up, against against the guy who's playing really, really solid football overall? I mean, he's had his really bad moments, but overall playing really, really good football. And what do you do to stop him? What do you do to stop him? I mean, you got Ruggs, you got Waller, you've got Ingold, you've got Hunter Renfrow, you've got Edwards. I mean, there's tons of guys on this team. There's Josh Jacobs coming out of the backfield, Jalen Richard coming out of the backfield. What do you do to stop a guy like Derek Carr from making these plays that he seems to be able to make?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, it's all about keeping everything in front of you. You let these guys like Waller and Edmonds and Ruggs get into the back and try to go one-on-one with these corners. A lot of times they're going to win because they got the speed on their side. I think this Colts defense is a very physical one. It's one of the more physical ones, especially in the secondary. Guys like Rocky Sin and Xavier Rhodes love to push receivers at the line of scrimmage. So that'll be a test to your wide receivers. Can they get separation right off the line? I think that's going to be the most important part here. Don't let Derek Carr get comfortable and start throwing the ball 20, 30 yards down the field. Keep everything in front of you. Make him pickpocket everywhere in this defense. Have him try to sustain drives. I mean, that's what this Colts defense is very well known for, that bend, don't break kind of defense. And then when it gets into the red zone, I mean, even against the Ravens, I mean, the Colts just slowed down the Ravens so well in the red zone. They couldn't really figure out too much there. But yeah, it's all going to be a matter of keeping everything in front of you, make them sustain long drives, and then you hope that Derek Carr just has one of those really bad games. I mean, like you said, 22 touchdowns with a 104 passer rating. I mean, and what'd you say his completion percentage was? I mean, Phillip Rivers is throwing like 68% on the year, so
68.1%.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it's I mean that's
even.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's pretty effective. It's not anything blowing out anyone, but it is effective nonetheless. So yeah, and that's the one thing that has always hurt us was just I think also what hurt us last year was I think it was poor execution and poor tackling. Mm-hmm. I know it's weird to say that in the NFL, like, really, we're going to talk about poor tackling from a bunch of professionals, but that was really the case. Last year, no one could tackle Josh Jacobs. No one. And I know Josh Jacobs is a very hard human to tackle in the first place, but my God, that was so terrible to watch. So I think this defense too is a little different because, again, like I said, this defensive line, especially in the run game, they get pressure up the middle and they force running backs to go where they don't necessarily want to go. And then those linebackers just always have more free reign to make plays like that. Grover Stewart is another name I didn't mention. Grover Stewart, who we just signed a couple weeks ago to a 3-year, $30 million extension. Those two with Buckner and Grover Stewart are looking like the best defensive tackle duo in the NFL currently. So, I mean, it's just going to be a matter of, like I said, keeping everything in front of you, make them sustain long drives.
All right, so I have one more question, and this is not Raiders Colts game related. It's related to the Colts, but not the Raiders. So Here's my question. I have a close family member who is from Baltimore, right? And she would be mad at me if I did not ask some Colts fans and Colts YouTubers this question.
Okay.
How does it feel? And please, this is tongue in cheek, but how does it feel to be a fan of a franchise with a history of sneaking out in the dark of night and leaving a city and a fan base high and dry?
I mean, I could probably do the same question. You probably know, but
yeah,
I have to ask because it's a conversation that her and I have because her family goes way, way back. They're season ticket holders. They were season ticket holders of the Colts, and that's still a sore subject for them. So again, she would yell at me if I did not ask you that question.
Well,
sometimes.
Well, I wasn't around to see it. I wasn't a fan of football at that time. I don't even know if I was born at that time. So, it has no effect on me. So that's just that.
That's a fair answer. What do you say, EJ?
I mean, I wasn't around them, but sometimes, man, these cities just have to bend the knee to these owners and just get them a stadium. Just plunge, just spend the money, just do it. We see too many teams fall and just leave.
Well, and here's the funny thing too. People always say, well, how do they look after they leave, right? People always say, do you put your franchise in a better position when you leave? Well, you look at some of the most recent stuff, St. Louis Rams moved to LA. LA's gone to a Super Bowl. I mean, they're off to a good start. And, we're going to find out how Oakland and Las Vegas Raiders, we're going to find that out here in the near future. But, some other teams that have tried to move, like the Chargers haven't really done anything since moving away from San Diego. That really didn't go over well with their fans. But, Baltimore Colts going to Indianapolis, it's turned out pretty well for us. I mean, ever since 2000, we've had the third most wins of any franchise in the NFL. So I'll take it.
Yeah. Right. You also have to take into consideration with the Raiders, the move to Vegas was not entirely the Raiders' fault. You have to blame Alameda County on that and not stepping up. I've dealt with it before when I played ball in Florida. We were trying to stay in Sarasota as our minor league ballpark and the Red Spring training facility, and the Sarasota County, the people of Sarasota County did not want to pay a little extra tax to help us get a new stadium. So we ended up relocating to Arizona, and now the Baltimore Orioles had that facility, and they revamped that entire stadium. I was just down there 2 years ago, and it looks amazing. You cannot blame a team for moving, and that's the thing that a lot of Raider fans right away, I'm not rooting for them anymore. They're moving to Vegas, F them, da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's not the team's fault, and people need to look at it that way.
And that was the thing, though. Like, they wanted to keep playing in that old behind stadium in Oakland, and y'all did not want to give us a stadium, but you plan on giving the Oakland A's a stadium.
Yep, I was just about to say that.
And let's be real. Come on, Raider Nation. Y'all got to be realistic. Y'all have to see what's really going on. They really did not want us in Oakland. They moved us out for the Oakland A's. That's what they did. Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the day, I know that this defense, I know this defense is really good, but what is one player on our offense that gives a threat to the Colts defense? Who is that one person on our offense that you have to like, oh, this is the guy that we have to go cover. This is the guy that we cannot let go off against our defense. Who is that number one guy on offense that you look at from our Raiders offense that you're really concerned with against your defense?
Waller.
That's it. Well, I ain't worried about no Henry Ruggs. Okay, I understand he's got speed and everything, but you can take into account speed. You just have a safety in the back to protect him. And Josh Jacobs, even if he plays, he's not going to be 100%. And I've seen what our run defense can do against some really good running backs. I know we can keep him in check for the most part. But Waller is the guy that scares me because, tight ends are the new thing in the NFL, man. I don't think people are quite understanding it, but a team that has a really solid tight end goes places in the NFL. And, the Raiders got a solid one for sure.
You look at some of the things that Waller does, like he's more concerned, and this is from John Gruden earlier. Waller is the kind of tight end that's actually more concerned about blocking, which I truly admire. But he does a lot of other things very well. Even during the Jet game this past week, dude is lining up as a wideout, like not a slot, as a wideout.
As a wideout, right?
And he is a special talent. I absolutely love his story as well, but he definitely is a special talent right now. And in my opinion, especially as far into the season as we are, he's a top 3 tight end. Actually, I take that back. He's number 2 right now.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's over Kittle, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. Okay. You read my mind.
It's over Kittle because knowing that Kittle have not produced, knowing that his injury.
So that's Kittle would be the only 2, argument.
And I'll say Waller would be 3 if that was the case. But Kittle has not been playing, so I definitely have to move Waller up to 2.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. I got one more question for y'all, and this is a nice question. Like I said, the last one was mostly. This is a nice question. So, who do you say that Raider Nation watching this game needs to look out for on the Colts? What are the matchups that we should be watching for, when we watch this game on Sunday?
Go ahead.
I think that when I look at Michael Pittman Jr., I think I've seen flashes from him. I mean, I think he's saved Philip Rivers sometimes. I mean, he runs really good routes, really speedy, gets good separation. And I think that if Philip Rivers can give the ball, he can do some magic with that stuff. So I think that they have to keep their eyes out for the rookie because I've seen flashes for him. So, he's looked really good his rookie season. So keep an eye on Michael Pittman Jr.
I thought he was a sleeper in the draft. And we talked about that, EJ, how Michael Pittman Jr. was a sleeper in the draft as a wide receiver. So I can say Michael Pittman Jr., that's a big concern for our defense. But I feel like knowing that me and Derek talked about this last night, when the Jets, a bunch of unknown names, run for 200 yards on us on the ground, and now we have Nyheim Hines and we have Jonathan Taylor coming in, that's going to be a tough. We're going to have to set the edge because they're going to look at the last two games, how these running backs set the edge on us. And as looking at some game film, find some on YouTube, we need to play more in a 4-2-5 because that's what's killing us on the edge because we have two inside linebackers where you expecting more responsibility out of our defensive ends to set the edge. We don't have no outside linebacker to set the edge because we have two inside linebackers, or you flip it and go 3-4. Paul Gutner's going to have to mix and match with these two running backs. I don't know if Hammer and Jay agrees, but that's what I think it is. I think linebacker play is going to be a big thing towards Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines coming into this game.
The thing is with Gunther's defense is the fact that this is the type of defense he runs, and he's running the D ends as if they are hybrids that can play both D end and play outside linebacker. And that's a major problem right now for them. They need some legitimate outside linebackers, whether they're playing a 3-4, but the 4-2-5, I'm a little iffy about. But their main problem this entire season, and we've beat our heads into the wall talking about this, is them stopping the run. Yeah, they could look at the last two games that we had against the Jets and the Falcons. They could also look at games from week 3 when we played the Patriots and how we got exposed almost immediately. We cannot stop the outside run. And even if they punch it up the gut, they're getting a lot of yards. 200 yards rushing last week against the Jets is just – there's no excuse for it.
Which is ranked 32nd in the league.
There's absolutely no excuse for it. And the thing is, like, I'm looking right now at a comparison between the Colts and our Raiders, and a lot of the categories right now are practically identical. That's why I'm not understanding, and no disrespect to the Colts, how you guys are ranked first in defense with some of these numbers I'm looking at, because right now, side by side, everything is almost identical. Even like our offense is identical. We score 26.9 a game. They score 27.3 points allowed, 22.8 for the Colts, 28.9 for us. Total yards fairly equal, 378 to 375. Yep. Like
that happens. Again, it goes back to the bend don't break kind of defense. That's just kind of how they are. They give up a lot of yards, and the issue with that is over the last couple weeks, this defense has gotten into a really bad habit of giving up a crap ton of yards and points in the first half and then shutting defenses down in the second half. It's bad. Like, just go rewatch a bunch of the games and look at the scores at halftime and look at the scores and at the end of the game and tell me that I'm wrong. But a couple of guys that I think we want to be interested in for matchups is Jonathan Taylor is the big one. You mentioned it. The Raiders defense not doing great at stopping the run. And the Colts like to do multiple tight end sets. Mm-hmm. So they do it more than almost any team in the NFL. So don't be surprised if you see two tight ends out there. I assure you it's either going to be some play action or it's going to be Jonathan Taylor or Nyheim Hines running up on the outside edge, because they love to do that, especially on the left side. And Trey Burton, our tight end, is one guy you'll have to be careful of, because over the last couple weeks, a lot of people in Colts Nation haven't been talking about him, but he's had a touchdown in each of the last 3 games, whether it be a rushing touchdown in the red zone or obviously a completion. And he had a couple really good ones recently. He had a really good one against Tennessee. It was really, really nice. And he had a good one against Green Bay. He's really starting to come into this offense. And one guy on the defense, I'm not going to mention Darius Leonard because everyone knows who he is. But one guy that is not getting a ton of credit for what he's doing to the secondary, and that's Julian Blackmon, the rookie out of Utah. I mean, this guy, by many people, said this was the worst safety out of Utah. There was a safety in Utah that was supposed to be better, and he was the one that was injured, right? Comes in, 8 months later after tearing his ACL and is looking like a defensive rookie of the year candidate. He actually is the leading one when you look at PFF, but you know, I don't know whether or not ESPN's going to actually listen to PFF. I don't know. If it were up to me, I give it to him because he's had 4 different games this year where he has got the game-sealing turnover to win the Colts the game. I mean, that's impressive when you look at a guy that wasn't even supposed to start up until like a couple weeks ago. So that's another one you guys got to be careful of. Julian Blackmon makes plays, man.
Someone actually mentioned his name in the chat, saying that he's probably one of the best guys in the secondary you guys have. And like, yeah. I at this point, and it probably sounds weird, I'm already looking to next season, at least looking forward to next season with my guys at Spotlight. But I'm definitely going to go back and put my coaching hat on and start breaking down game film, especially when it comes to our upcoming opponents, so we can really give everybody in here exactly an idea of what to look for, especially when it comes to matchups. Because, again, I haven't really seen the Colts. I've seen a lot of their highlights. I heard about Taylor a lot from the jump this season. I actually think I had him in my preseason fantasy ranks. But Nyheim Hines is another one that's looked very, very good, especially in the outside runs. And as you mentioned before, in regards to the offense that the Colts run, whether it being 2 tight ends on the field at once, pretty much equivalent to what we're doing in Vegas with our offense. We're either throwing 2 tight ends out there at a time or 3 tight ends out there at a time. And it's just a matter of that West Coast style offense, that short passing game, and that ground and pound that Gruden loves to do, that it seems that both of these offenses are going to be mirrors of each other come Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I really feel like Nyheim Hines is going to be the guy that the Raiders defense is going to have to shut down. I mean, he's got four receiving touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. Looks like he's the leading touchdown holder on your team.
Yep.
And I mean that's a bad dual threat. He's the 3rd highest leading receiver on the Indianapolis Colts, and he's got more receiving touchdowns than T.Y. Hilton and Zach Pascal, who are ahead of him combined, or the same amount combined. He's got 4. They each have 2 each. The only others that are close are Trey Burton and Jack Doyle with 3 touchdowns each. So that he's definitely the X factor when it comes to this offense. And then, of course, you know, Jonathan Taylor, he's got 4 rushing touchdowns. So if we can stop those 2 guys, the 2 running backs, I think we can beat. If we can stop those 2 running backs and we can force Phillip Rivers to throw on the outside, it's going to be good for us. We're going to have some turnovers come Sunday, but we'll have to see.
But make sure y'all subscribe to everybody on this panel. My City, My Game, which his link is in the description. Hammer House link is in the description, and EJ Bryant and Bring the Juice podcast. All the links are in the description. So make sure y'all go over and subscribe to these 4 fellas here, these 4 gentlemen, because they really know the game and they really know their teams and they really love talking, you know, their perspective teams. And this is why we like to do this every single week when we have different people come onto our channel or we go over to their channel and just collab. And this was very good in my opinion. I really like talking. You know, I like to talk smack. You know me, y'all. Raider Nation. No, I don't know if y'all saw what happened in the Jets game, but yeah. I took the jersey off. I went with this man about
the jersey coming on. You know, about to be real now.
No, you know what?
Because you mentioned it. Once I changed my shirt, mind you, Derek, it was like almost like the same shirt that you had on.
Oh, okay, I got
I
you.
switched to a blue shirt. That's the funny thing. I switched to a blue Nike shirt, but I was not repping the Colts. I'm just saying. But Hammer, I had on the blue shirt when Ruggs scored the touchdown. And I'm
Hold
looking
on.
like, I'm not.
Hold on. We're
like-
gonna play that clip just for you right now with how you
Oh,
reacted.
no, don't do that.
Yes. Yes.
Don't do that.
This
man,
was-
because
This was priceless. This
Hey,
was
OG,
I've never
OG double in the
never
chat. Hey, OG double in the chat. I know you're saying roads work. No, roads about to be closed on Sunday. I'm just telling you, roads about to be closed.
I would have
Just
never
saying.
expected to see you lose your mind the way you did.
I want to see this because
Hold on.
he went on YouTube.
oh
Wait.
my god,
I want to see
oh
this.
my god, really?
Back to pass.
You look like you have no motivation to live right
I
now.
know. Oh,
Runs!
leave my reaction. I don't care.
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. I'm not impressed. I just win, but I'm not impressed.
So hype. It's like,
Not
you
impressed.
gotta be kidding me.
Hey, you know what? Though, and the fact that it was,
I was going in on Ruggs saying that he was a bust.
man, you were going in on him so hard.
I've
Yeah.
never heard you so upset before, and I was just like, the hell? Like we won.
You
How
gotta
do
be
we have
kidding
on
me.
one side? You got one of them just going absolutely nuts, and then the other one just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what is
No, but before that, he didn't get though. When it was a fourth down on Nelson Aguilar, this is exactly what I did. Exactly what I did. I threw my Raiders head down to the ground. I was like, I'm done with this game.
boy over here looking like Lil Terrio?
Oh my god, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, but that one I sent you yesterday, the dude that was doing the Jets game. Oh my god, I think he was in tears.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh my
Like,
god.
that reaction was crazy. So
Who
hopefully,
was it? Who was
hopefully
the
we can
Jets
get the
channel?
Colts.
Was it Jets
Hopefully-
Central?
hopefully
It couldn't have been.
What is it?
Okay.
Long Beach Joe or something like
Oh,
that?
okay.
Man,
had it.
we had
We
trending
had
on a meme. Can't beat the internet. Shit.
Nah, internet be staying undefeated, bro.
Oh yeah,
Yo.
they've been undefeated the whole 2020. They've been undefeated the whole 2020.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Let's get into these predictions, these score predictions of this game. So, knowing that y'all are the visiting team, y'all are coming to the Death Star, which
Yes,
is
sir.
All right.
so. EJ or Derek, which one y'all want to go first? What is your
EJ, we'll
score
let you.
prediction? What is your breakdown of this game, and what is your final?
I got the Colts winning this one. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think our defense shows up this game, and I think that Colts will be a run-centric team. As long as Frank Reich cannot make some boneheaded decisions, and what I mean by that is he likes to do very predictable play calling, like run it up the middle 2-3 straight plays a game. Or on 4th and 1.
Wish I had my hat right now. I'd throw it at just the fact of you saying that. Yes. God, Frank Reich's play calling
Like
sometimes just irritates me.
Instead of taking field goals, he just loves just going on 4th and 1. And guess what? We get run stop every time. But as long as he gets
Only when we run it up the middle, man. Only when we run it up the middle. Outside anywhere, yeah. Fine.
Yeah. But as long as you can call a good game, just don't be predictable play calls. Run the ball, establish Philip Rivers, and just please don't just don't have that many 3-and-outs. We can't, have our defense playing the whole freaking game. Okay. No. So I got the Colts winning this one, 24-21.
I said it yesterday, Darian. I'll keep the same thing. 28-24 Colts. I think this one's going to be a close one. It always is with the Colts and the Raiders. And, I think it'll be a relatively good scoring game, but I think in the second half, we're going to see the defenses both kind of tighten up. I think the Colts offense in the second half just seems to sometimes lose their edge a little bit, and that'll probably help you guys, but hopefully we'll have the lead going into halftime this time. That would be nice. But yeah, close game, Indianapolis 28-24.
Hammer?
So ESPN
Let me get my hat on this one. Hold on.
So ESPN has the matchup predictor right now is the Raiders winning. The predictor is 52.6 to the Colts 47. Over under is 51.5.
Well, I had it at 52, so I mean, I'm slightly over.
Yeah, guess what? You and I are on the same page, but complete opposites. I am going with the Raiders 28-24.
All right.
You want me to go, Jay, or you still thinking?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
All right, so I think, like I said before, this is going to be a great game, and this game should be game of the week, and it should be nationally televised the way this rivalry has been in the last 3 years. People need fail to realize this is the most underrated rivalry in the AFC, even though it is not even they're not even in the same division as us. But think about it. In 2018, they destroyed us. 2019, we beat them, and then here we go, 2020. Back at it again with this team. It seems like we're playing them every single year. And it's like it's always back and forth. And I'm excited for this game, and I feel like it's going to be a game. It's going to be a game-winning kick. Daniel Carlson is going to get the game-winning kick. 27-24. Raiders win over the Indianapolis Colts.
Man, what's up with y'all thinking the Colts about to score 24? Man, jeez.
What so do you think if the Raiders are going to score 24?
Right. All right. Point taken. All right. Point taken.
I'm gonna. You know what? I have a feeling that this defense is susceptible to the run. I have a feeling with Josh Jacobs coming back, even if he's not 100%. He always seems to open things up for Booker having a great game. Jalen Richard's back healthy again. Alec Ingold, he's a tough cat, so he's going to play no matter what. So I feel like we're probably going to have 4 rushing touchdowns on the game. I'm going to say 31. I'm not sure we're going to get a passing touchdown. I'm not 100. I really don't know especially if they really shut Waller down. So I'm going to say 30. I'm going to go 31-24 Raiders. Almost said
if I could have an even more derpier face, I would do it, but I can't. I feel like my face
is a bold.
That's my bold prediction.
His bold prediction in his final prediction in the same
4.
Mm-hmm. You're telling me they're going to pull a Dalvin Cook on us? Is that what you're telling me?
Not one guy.
2 by Booker, 2 by Jacobs.
Yeah,
already won this season. It'll happen again,
bro. Okay, from what I heard you just say there, 4 touchdowns from the Raiders, all rushing. So Carr is basically just going to throw for probably like 250 yards and no touchdowns in this game. I'll take it. I'll gladly take him doing that.
I feel like that's where we're going to go. We're going to go with the run. You guys are allowing 100+ yards per.
That
per
is
game.
Hilarious. EJ, can you believe this man? 4 rushing touchdowns.
4 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't think it would happen.
Even the Ravens couldn't do that on us. What makes you think you could do that?
Josh Jacobs.
You're gonna have to get a lot of 3 and outs from our offense.
The only way that this is if that bold prediction really happens, right? That means we have to kill time of possession.
Yes.
Kill it.
Ground and pound.
We have to kill
Ground
it.
and pound.
And
if y'all run for 4 rushing touchdowns, I will come back on this stream with a Raiders jersey, a Raiders hat, and I will be repping the Las Vegas Raiders for the day. On God, I will. 4 rushing touchdowns, though. It has to happen this game, though, because it ain't going to happen.
You hear it first.
All right.
4 rushing touchdowns. That's my bold prediction. I'll put it out
4
there.
rushing touchdowns. Now, like I said, time of possession is going to be a key. It's going to really come down to who's going to win in the trenches. Good offensive line, good defensive line. It's going to come down who has the ball more. Because if the Colts end up having the ball more, I don't see it happening. But if we go back to what we did in the beginning of the season, where we wear defensives down with our running backs, it's possible. But I was thinking more of 2, not 4. 1 from Booker, 1 from Jacobs. But, I mean, it's been times where Jay was very close to getting 4 rushing touchdowns in a few games this year. So he's been close. It's been 3, not 4. So he's been close. It might happen. I mean,
I predicted that Josh Jacobs would have 4 rushing touchdowns in a game, and he had 3.
And I feel like my bold prediction for this is this. I feel like Derek Carr would throw for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he'll have at least a 400-yard passing game.
All right.
That's me for Derek Carr. I think he will have that because I don't want to put no bold prediction out for our defense because I just know what the hell our defense is giving every damn week. I just don't. Yeah, I'm not putting no bold predictions. Offense, I think Derek Carr might have about I say 372 yards, 3 touchdowns, at least 3.
Hey, BAL in the chat. No, Rivers does not average 1 interception a game, bro. He's got 9 interceptions on the year, and there's 12 games. That's slightly under 1 interception. That's 0.75. Get the math.
That's about to change if we have Eric Harris back there.
Almost 1.
Almost 1.
Eric Harris owns Phillip Rivers as of right
he does. What was
he
it? 4
right now.
3 or 4 interceptions by Harris last time he played against Rivers.
I know that one, buddy.
Oh man.
Oh, but it's been fun, y'all. It's been fun.
Eric Harris got the exit interview on national television after that game.
Oh wow!
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember it.
Man, they covered his whole backstory and everything. That's how good he looked against Phillip Rivers. They talked about him working in a chip factory. They had his kids on. It was a whole thing on national television.
Now against other quarterbacks, he's nowhere to be found. But he's probably like this, doing the Stevie J, I got Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, they did a 30-30 on Eric Harris after playing Phillip Rivers.
Wait, how many interceptions does he have again?
Thought there was 9. Maybe I messed up from last
pretty
week.
much as many interceptions as he has kids. So yeah.
That's a good one.
That means he's been throwing to his sons and everything.
It's so overdone this year. It's like they're just anticipating Phillip Rivers is done after this year, so they're just going to roast him with that everywhere that you go. It was funny when this COVID thing first started. They said Phillip Rivers is 1 kid away from legally not being allowed to have his own family in his own home. Because there was 10 people in a household illegally
Raiders are going to have the same amount of rushing touchdowns as Phillip Rivers has kids.
Hi, man.
Phillip Rivers, do you feel like the Indianapolis Colts is going to re-sign him after this year? Do y'all feel that way?
If he keeps putting up games that he has been over the last couple weeks, then it certainly makes a good case for it. But I don't know. I really don't know. It's one of the only things that I can't say I'm not certain about at all for this team going forward. I can give you an answer on pretty much anything else. I can't tell you what this Colts team's going to do with this quarterback situation. I just don't know.
I think if they make it to the playoffs and how deep they go to the playoffs, maybe. But if he doesn't re-sign with the Colts come this coming offseason, I think he's going to retire.
Yeah, I agree. I think this playoffs, yeah, just like you said, it depends on how far it is because there's a lot of good quarterbacks that they can take from other people.
They could sign Mariota during the offseason because we ain't taking him back.
Well, they got him on a 3-year deal.
They're cutting him. They're going to cut him at that. They're going to cut him at the end of the season.
We've owned his ass while he was in Tennessee. We don't need him on our roster, please.
Yeah. I hope they don't play favorites to try to get Carson Wentz.
EJ, you know your guy Malguli been saying this though. Dak Prescott to the Indianapolis Colts.
And you know what I've been saying? It's more likely we get Carson Wentz.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. I would love to try to get
I don't want to say anything about it because then people just get triggered if I mention it. I made a video when Dak Prescott was dealing with his contract, and I said, Vegas has Dak Prescott going to the Colts. Best odds right now. I said, what if that was a possibility? I didn't say I was for it. I didn't say I was against it. I just made a video saying that could be an option. And people roasted the hell out of me for even insinuating that video. Like, I didn't even mention whether I wanted him or not. I just made the video. Y'all getting triggered over nothing. And now you got those same people saying, Dak Prescott, come to the Colts, please, please. Like those same people.
People saying Matthew Stafford to Indy.
Could be.
I don't
Aaron
like
Rodgers,
that.
I love
I
that.
don't like. I mean, but you gotta think about it, though. Y'all Colts do have a good offensive line, something that Matthew Stafford never had in his career. I'm just
Exactly.
saying.
We'd have to
I mean,
get
look
another,
at
like,
look
left
how
tackle
effective
probably.
Philip Rivers is turning now. I mean, you saw what his season was like last year with the 29th best offensive line in football, and what he's looking like now. It looks like a completely different quarterback right now.
I just don't think $25 million was a bit much for Philip.
Yeah, I thought it was a little too much too, but I'm not too worried about it since it was just 1 year. It's not a long-term commitment.
Right.
It's more of Jacoby Brissett's contract that's the issue, because we had him on a 2-year, $31 million deal, and he's on his second year of that now as a backup. So, we got to make some moves here on the quarterback room. I feel like somebody's going to get cut at the end of the year.
So you're telling me your backup is getting paid more than your starter?
No, he's getting paid $15 million this year. He's on the second year of his contract. Yeah. He's on the second year of his contract. He's getting paid $15 million to sit on the bench, basically.
I was about to say, like, what? How is that even possible that your backup is getting paid more than your
He was
starter?
that bad, apparently, that the money didn't matter anymore. Just
So
ask
even
Carson Wentz and the Eagles. They know how that is.
It might make sense for Carson Wentz. As far as just outside being a Raiders fan and just being a football fan, it might make sense for Carson Wentz, because you see that Frank Wright has success with Carson Wentz before the injury.
They
has
This
success.
is the last thing. This is the last thing I'll say. I got to head off here in a second, but this is the last thing I'll say. Eagles are not shopping him this year. You know how much dead cap that man has on their roster if they let him go this year? Almost $30 million in dead cap. That's literally about, what is it? That's about maybe 15-20% of their cap all gone just because of one player. So they can't ship him this year as much as I think they would like to, unless they get a good trade offer. I don't know if they would even do it or not, but I don't think he's going, at least not this year.
But EJ, if you do want to stay on, because I know Derek has to go. If you want to stay on, that's cool. But Derek, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's been so much fun having you on here, man, talking about the game. I know you're doing a lot of play-by-play and reactions for the game on Sunday, right?
I probably won't be able to this time. I got to work, and I have to work during part of the game, so I won't be doing it this week, unfortunately, but I'll see what I can do for other games. It sucks I can't, but thanks so much for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun.
And make sure y'all subscribe to Bring the Juice podcast. The link is in the description. They have a lot of great Colts content. So if you are a Colts fan and you are in here, make sure you go subscribe to Bring the Juice podcast and EJ Bryan. EJ Bryan is going to have some more content coming up as far as the Colts stuff as well. So hopefully y'all two can collab and get ready, for, a playoff run just like the Raiders, man. But thank you, Derek, for coming on. Really do appreciate it.
No problem, man. Talk to you later.
All right, man.
Peace.
All right, so EJ, if you still want to stay on and talk some Colts, we are going to have some callers come in. They might have some questions for you. So if you want to stay on, we can do that. So let me just get the callers going here. And let me pull up the banner so we can see if we get the people to call in. So there you have it right there. So that is the number to call in, which is 503-765-6807. If you have any questions for all of us and EJ, he's going to be the only Colt pick because Derek had to leave. If you have any questions in the chat, you let us know too. But make sure y'all call up, man. Y'all call up. Hey, to everybody that's in the chat, thank y'all for being here, man. It was pretty fun, man. How y'all felt about that?
Hey, man, I'm having a good time, man.
Yeah, a good time.
It's been fun, man. I ain't gonna lie, EJ. I know my favorite color is blue, which is one of my favorite colors. I'm not gonna lie. Before I became a Raiders fan, I always loved blue, but that Colts hat is pretty dope. It's not bad.
Dude, I love this retro logo. It's one of my favorites. I wish I would somehow bring it back with a color rush or something, but it's one of my favorites.
And don't get on me, Raider Nation, Madra. I used to work in lids, so I used to see all types of hats. So don't judge me.
Judgment passed.
Yeah, Fish. You know what, Hammer? I'm about to put you in mute or something.
Don't you know, Darian? If you're a Raiders fan, your favorite colors have to be silver and black.
It don't have to be.
Yes, it does, man. You can't be a real
But if that's
Raiders
the case,
fan.
then why do you have on a red
That's your
shirt?
favorite
Why
color.
do you have on a red shirt?
Really? Really?
That's what I'm saying. I got on my silver and black today. You got
Jay,
on the
just
red
show the shirt, bro. Just show the shirt and plug it, bro.
My
All right,
city.
My City,
My
My Game, all on the SpotlightSportsNetwork.com. If you want to go and get them, My City, My Game t-shirt, make sure y'all go get that right there. Because you know that head on his shirt is the same shape as his head right there. So
Yep. Pretty much.
listen, the logo is just identical to him. You can't go wrong with it.
Maybe you should go put on some blue and white, Darian.
Listen. Listen. I'm not gonna put on no blue and white today. I'm not.
Wear blue and white on the live
Actually, I actually have on a white t-shirt under this actually. So Boss Raider do have Lucky has a question here. Sorry, John Marshall. Jason Marshall. He said, why are we not scoring TDs off turnovers when the defense are making plays?
We capitalized on a couple last week.
Let's be
Whether
real,
it being
Boss
field
Raider.
goals, whether it being a field goal or a touchdown, we capitalized on some of our turnovers last week.
And Derek Carr sucks. He's worse than Marcus Mariota.
Okay,
I can't get rid of the green. That's the only reason why Jeff Smith. I can't get rid of the green background. That's part of my green screen, but StreamYard has me like freezing up when I do my green screen, so that sucks. So I have to keep it green here. Sorry, can't do nothing about it until I get a black. Roy, the blue shirt is in the laundry. Okay, leave my blue shirt alone. Okay. But if y'all have any questions for EJ for the Indianapolis Colts, make sure y'all put it in the chat or call the number 503-765-6807. We do want to hear from you. And we're usually done at 8:30, but we're going to keep the lines open a little bit more so we could just, have a good time here. So
call to the show, man.
I unfortunately am going to break out. We had some fun.
You're going to break out now. Oh, now you're going. Now you're going.
What? You need a hug,
Now
you need a hug. Don't be a DeMarcus Cousins. I don't want to say the other one. Don't be a DeMarcus Cousins.
Child, nobody worry about DeMarcus Cousins. We're not worried about the emotional lesbian. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, what's going on, Key in the building? What's up? If y'all want to call up, Boss Raider says he's talking all season. Field goals ain't going to cut it. This is my thing.
Uh-oh.
John Gruden stopped being conservative in the third quarter. Period. Stop being conservative in the third quarter. He's going to say he didn't. And then he had the nerve to say that he didn't go conservative in the third quarter against the Jets. You're a damn lie. You're a damn lie. Colt's question for EJ is, if they lose to the Raiders, what are their chances of making the playoffs?
I mean, it's going to be real tough. Of course, like, if we lose this game, then we're not going to get that home playoff game. The Titans, I feel like the Titans, their only tough game is going to be against Green Bay. That's what I feel is their only loss going ahead. That's why I feel like every game from now on is a must-win game. But, I mean, we're going to be out of the playoff picture. I mean, the Raiders are going to take our spot for the 7th seed. I mean, we're the 7th right now. I don't know how Miami's ahead of us, but, I mean, Raiders are going to take our spot. And, I mean, it's going to be a battle coming up. So, I mean.
So what is y'all last remaining games after us, though? What is y'all last remaining games? Because
we got Houston, we got Jacksonville, and we got Steelers. Steelers might be an L right there. So if we lose this one and we lose against Steelers, we're probably out of the playoffs. Because, I mean, there's so many teams that can make it. I mean, we got Ravens, we got Raiders. So those are only two teams that are like right there that could take that playoff spot.
Yeah, so because I know we have Miami, we have the Chargers, and we have Denver as our last 3 games, correct?
Yep.
So yeah, so Chargers and Denver is going to try to be spoilers for us if we win this game. No, I'm wrong. We have this game, then Miami, then the Chargers,
and the Broncos. Yep.
So these next 2 games, the Chargers and Miami, that is going. I mean, not Chargers, the Colts and Miami. It's going to be 2 tough games. It's going to be very tough games for us, but. We gotta get this dub, EJ. I mean, if you want to come on after the post game show, to talk about the game afterwards, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. You might see me wearing some silver and black when you play Miami.
Oh man.
Squish the fish.
All right, let's see if we have any more questions in the chat here. It says, yes, Gruden got to be more aggressive. He leads because conservative calls are so predictable. We know that about him. He's predictable on first down. We all know he's going to run the ball on first down. We all know that already. So defense gets ready. It says Colts lose would have been a hard time with the tiebreakers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damian Hernandez, I am not saying what's up to you because you is just a troll.
The human troll.
He's the human troll. But what's going on, Damian? I want to be playing with you. How did DB rule out after getting hit by a QB? Shaking my head. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Jeff Heath like that.
Mhm.
I'm not. But that was a bad hit. Sam Darnold ran him over. That was nasty.
Man.
All right.
Look at the Ravens schedule. They might win out from here. Even though the Ravens might win out, I think we still might. I think as far as point differential, I think it comes down to that, if I'm not mistaken. No. Fierce Raider says only we're ahead 28 points. We goes conservative, but other than that, we need to cut throats.
They think they're going to win it out with their 4 remaining games. They might be highly disappointed. They have the Browns, who have looked really good of late. They have Jags. That's going to be a win, obviously. The Giants, their defense has stepped up tremendously over these last couple of weeks, and then the Bengals. So Ravens ain't a guarantee to win the next 4 games. Spoiler alert.
It would be
God, here we go.
It would be Damon Hernandez to say this.
Love it.
Look at this guy. This guy looks like he could be on Locked Up After Dark or something.
Damn
like, what?
Halloween decoration looking ass.
Right.
I love the prediction.
47-26. Until the Chicago Bears stop losing games after going 5-1, we not talking. Y'all lost 6 straight games.
I'm rolling out. I will talk to you guys later. It's been real. Make sure to subscribe and follow every single one of these lovely individuals that are in here right now. It's been real. Hammers out. Make sure to wash your hands and your asses.
All right, Hammer, we holler at you, bro. So, if we gonna wait for like 3 more minutes to see if anybody wants to call in and talk. Yeah, we love you too. We love you too, Damian Estrada. Damian Hernandez. We love you. We love you, brother. We love you. But I know you the human troll. But we're just going to wait and see anybody who wants to call in and talk to us for the next 3 minutes. If not, then EJ, let them know your social medias where everybody can find you, especially if the Colts fans are still in here.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna give it about 3 more minutes. But are you doing the play-by-play this weekend, EJ?
I'm not. My family's having an early Christmas because my sister and her husband have to go celebrate in LA with his family. So they're leaving next week, so I have to celebrate this Sunday.
I hate when that happens.
And then it's tough as well because Dish for some reason is having contract disputes. So literally, I lost all the channels that have NFL games on. So
we have a caller.
Vince from Las Vegas.
To accept, press 1.
Yo, what's up, Vince?
Yo, what's going on? How y'all doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just sitting here chilling, watching the show. It was funny. I kind of caught the segment when y'all were saying you're asking the 2 Colts fans over there, who are they most worried about on our offense, and they both said Waller. And I'm like, well, I understand that because Waller had a good game last week. What do you have, over 200 yards or whatever the case may be? But my thing is, DC, he still gets slept on. Yeah, these last 2 weeks have kind of been shaky, but my man threw a game-winning touchdown. Somehow that still gets overlooked. And to me, the Jets have somewhat a good defense. The man's been playing out of his mind, but people stayed asleep on him. He doesn't get the respect. I feel like maybe it's the market that we're in. Maybe if Derek Carr, I guarantee you this, you put Derek Carr on the Cowboys, that's a playoff team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think what they're banking on is they have a good defense. The Colts is a really tough team. Yeah, it's a really, really tough team. I got a lot of respect for them. And it's going to be a battle. But I think what they're banking on, hopefully, yeah, they're going to try to stop our run. I know Josh still, his ankle is probably not all the way, at 100%. Honestly, I don't even think he's going to play. If I was Gruden, I would probably sit them down. I'll still go with Rashard and Booker. That's just me. But I think when DC's behind center, underneath the Rudson, I think he's going to get the job done. That's just honestly how I feel.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I feel like it is going to be a really good game, and I think the other two gentlemen here agree as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a battle to the end. But yeah, it could go either way. It just depends on who shows up ready to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
Yeah, exactly. Who shows up? I think for us, the only thing that's good for us, maybe our sense of urgency might be more than the Colts. I think if the Colts lose this game, I don't think necessarily that knocks them out of the playoff run, which this game is a really, really big game for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely feel like the Raiders probably will be a bit more hungry, but I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much for calling in.
Appreciate it, man. Y'all have a go.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
So EJ, I know you wanted to respond. I know he couldn't hear us, but what was your response to that?
Oh, I was going to agree. I mean, Derek Carr has just been making throws left and right. I mean, I've seen it in both Kansas City games. And that last play, I mean, that was a difficult throw to make. I mean, stepping up with when you have like Jets players all around you and he throws on the wrong foot. I mean, he just makes throws, and I think that he's going to be scary coming into this game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, all in all, it's going to be a good game, man. It's like I said, it just really depends on who shows up and who's ready to win.
So we had Ronnie that came in here. He said, "What's up, Raider Nation? How do you feel our D line will hold up against the Colts offensive line?" I think we'll hold up pretty well. I just feel like if Paul Gunner gets out of that 4-2-5 defense, I think we need more linebackers to help set the edge. Because having two inside linebackers and just putting more pressure on our defensive ends and I know that Hammer said they might be hybrid, but still, I still feel like we need that third linebacker so we can have one inside, two outside, or switch to a 3-4 and have four linebackers. If you want to bring up talent like Javin White, you got to put him out there and see what he can do. I mean, you brought in McMillan over from the Miami Dolphins. You got to see what he can do. So. I mean, honestly, I just feel like our defensive line can hold up, but it's really our linebackers more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, especially with the addition of Vic Beasley, he was Paul Gunther had even mentioned just what a guy like Vic Beasley does for a defensive line and how it opens up, for better pressure on the quarterback. So we got to. He only played a few snaps in the last game. My guess is he's probably going to be playing a lot more this game, especially with David Irving not being activated. So, but we'll just have to see what they do. I'm excited to see what this defensive line is going to do in the last part of this because it hasn't been very good up to this point. I'll be honest, it hasn't been very good, but we'll have to see.
And we all noticed Damian Hernandez. He's not as good as Mahomes and Wilson. It's not about Mahomes and Wilson. They're not. We're not worried about them.
We've already established that Derek Carr is not as good as Mariota, so I don't know why we're still having this conversation.
Oh my God!
Coming into this game, I think that our left tackle Anthony Casazzo is now going to be playing. So I mean, we're going to be down to our third, fourth string. I mean, left tackle because we lost Raven Clark last week. So I mean, it could be Chaz Green or it could be that new lineman that they just picked up off the Ravens practice squad. So I mean, attacking the left tackle spot is probably we're going to see that probably all game.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all do want to call in, we're going to take about two more callers. And then that's it right there, which is 503-765-6807. I'm going to keep that up a little bit. I might just take this whole darn thing off and just keep the Raiders background because that just looks so weird. But if y'all do want to call into the show, that is the number right there. So make sure y'all call in and ask us some questions, or y'all want to ask us questions in the chat. We're going to stay on for about like 2 more minutes and we're going to end the live stream. But don't forget, everybody, don't forget that we are going to be going live for the game, live play-by-play and reactions of the game on the Spotlight Raiders Talk. You do not want to miss that. So make sure y'all check that out. We got another caller coming in.
Call from
Travis, San Diego.
To accept, press 1.
Hey, what's up, Travis? You are on the show live.
Hey there, guys. How's it going?
Not bad, man. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I just want to talk about Raiders and their personality a little bit. I just think we need to understand who we are as a team, and I feel that smash mouth football, and that's pounding the rock, throwing quick passes, and then hitting deep. And I think Gruden likes to shy away from that, depending on who we play. And sometimes he'll say in interviews, "Oh yeah, they like the Buccaneers. They have great linebackers, great D line. We couldn't run the ball." It's just we just need to shut up, saddle up, play hard, run the ball, and just bend their will. Just break them down, smash the linebackers, make corners come up and tackle, make the safeties come up and tackle, get them tired, abuse them, smack them around a little bit, and just that's when we hit them deep. We just got to bend their will. We got to go 3-0. We're going to be at home these next 3 games, and I think we focus on that and just keep pounding the rock will be good.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, this team playing physical is a better team. It's when they stop playing physical and try to get too technical and all this other stuff that they kind of lose that grit. So if they can keep physical, because we got a lot of tough, hard-hitting young guys who really should – that's the kind of football that they should continue to play. So I definitely agree. But thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Love what you guys do. Appreciate it.
Hey, we love you too, man. Thank you. Take care. Bye. What do you guys think? You guys think that he has a point there? Or?
Yeah, I think it comes. I know he was talking Raiders, but I think EJ can kind of agree to that too. Like, sometimes y'all running game is not going too well, and then you have a passing game. And then if the passing game not going too well, y'all have a running game. So I feel like both teams really don't have an actual identity, and I feel like we're very optimistic in our offense. But are we used to being a ground and pound team as a Raiders fan? Yes, we're used to being a ground and pound team like the way Josh Jacobs ran last year until he got hurt around this time again. So yeah, I can agree to that, and I think EJ can agree to that too. His offense for the Colts as well.
Yeah, I mean, this team, most games, they try to establish the run, but when that doesn't work, they try to pass, but it doesn't work to as good as our run game. So I gotta agree with that.
All right, we're going to take one more caller. So after this one more caller, we're going to head out. So if you want to call up and say something real quick, you got a minute. You got at least 1 minute to call up. If it gets to a minute and 38 seconds, I'm going to say a minute and 38 seconds, then we're just going to end it out. So, and I'm going to put the phone number down. So we do have one more caller that we do want to take before we head on out. Is David Irvin hurt? Any news on that? I did not see him on the injury report that we did earlier, but they have been saying that David Irvin is out, which I don't know though, because if they said that around 2-3 o'clock and they put the injury report out on 4:15 and he wasn't on it. So that's what I'm saying about John Gruden. I don't think he even knows who's in or out.
Who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah, and I don't know if it has something to do with Vic Beasley, now being on the team. I couldn't really tell you 100%, but Jason Rollins says, "Do you guys think our offensive line is going to be a lot better this game, and our defense?" Also, want to say, I love you guys' show. I never miss an episode. We appreciate you, man, and
right,
definitely. I think that the offensive line is going to be better this game. Obviously, having Trent Brown back is a huge lift for this offensive line. Hopefully, he is ready to go. I believe he will be, because I feel like they have been taking a lot of time with him to make sure that he's really ready to go. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be better. Hopefully, the defensive line continues to improve with the additions we've made, but it remains to be seen because it hasn't been much so far.
Okay. So we are at the 138 mark, so we're not going to take any more callers for the rest of tonight. EJ, before we head out, let everybody know where they can follow you at, and then we're going to end the show back.
Oh yeah, you can follow me on YouTube at EJ Bryan, at Twitter at EJ Bryan Sports.
Yep, and then you could go find him on EJ Bryan on YouTube, which he does have his show, which he probably bring his show back soon, called The Bench Report. So hopefully after the holidays and everything's going, he'll probably have that show back up. Make sure y'all subscribe to both of the channels, which I put both of the links in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to Raider J77. Make sure you subscribe to EJ Bryant. And plus, if you're not a part of the Spotlight Sports Network, make sure you go subscribe to the Spotlight Sports Network. All the links are in the description here. We want to thank EJ for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure. I know it's been rough for you knowing what how work has been, the holidays and everything. So thank you for taking your time out for to come on to the show.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a blast.
Yeah,
no problem, man. So we'll definitely talk in the chat, man. You know, I might be talking my trash until Sunday.
All right,
we might be throwing some memes in the chat, you know.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Peace.
All
Peace
right.
out, man.
So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. And we had a good show today, man. We really did. It was an awesome show, but he said good luck, but go Colts. Hey, thank you for sticking around, even though that EJ and Derek was able to come on here. Thank you for still sticking around. Make sure y'all subscribe to all the channels that I stated. All links are in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the Spotlight Raiders Talk. And if you want to be here on Sunday at what we play at 4? You play at 4 this weekend. I think it's 4 East Coast time, 4 Eastern Standard Time, and 1 Pacific time. So make sure y'all in the chat for that, because y'all like our reactions for that. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. It is the Spotlight Raiders Talk and Raider J77. We will see y'all Sunday for Colts and Raiders. And peace, blessings, and have a great Friday night.
Peace out.
What's up, fantasy champions? Spotlight Sports Network is excited to tell you about an amazing deal from Thrive Fantasy, your place for daily fantasy sports and esports. Right now, with promo code SS Network, Thrive Fantasy will match up to $50 of your first deposit. So go to thrivefantasy.com and sign up now with promo code SS Network. That's thrivefantasy.com, promo code SS Network. Welcome to the My City, My Game pod show featuring Raider J77, your place for all things Raiders and all things Trailblazers. Brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now let's go.
Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that O-line.